We Just Love Games presents That Fallout Show, starring Shalene Vendertron and Rick McVick.
How lucky can one guy be?
Brought to you by Cambridge Polymer Labs. Are you a scientist looking for work? Perhaps a recent grad from MIT? Then look no further. Come to Cambridge Polymer Labs today and just ask for Molly. Now, on to our show.
Hello everyone and welcome to That Fallout Show Episode 3, It's All on Fire. I am Rick McVick, and with us tonight, as always, is Shalene.
Hello, hello.
And also with us for the first time in person, not in video, is Vendertron.
Welcome, sir or madam.
We thank you all for coming tonight. Everyone in the chat, it's already going crazy. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you both for being here. It's great to have the threesome together. Finally, are you guys excited to do a show?
Yes.
I am excited to do the show.
Awesome. So, we're excited to do the show. We're excited to share it with you. And in turn, you can help us promote the show by sharing it also on your social media. You can send us emails because we like to read them on the show, and it makes us feel good and gooey inside. You can like, subscribe, and retweet our stuffs. And you can tell your friends. You can host us on Twitch as well. All of that helps our tiny little podunk podcast and our show. So please do that. We love it when you do that sort of thing.
I wouldn't exactly call us tiny anymore.
I'm being humble.
You know,
we're not a
our
big
Discord channel,
fancy
I'd say.
podcast either.
Yeah.
We're like the Hyundai Genesis of podcasts. We're not a Camry. We're not a Beamer. We're somewhere in the middle, and it's a good place to be, right?
Well, I'd much rather be a Camry than a Genesis, just to be honest.
Well, all right.
Lawsuits aside.
So, I think you guys have a short announcement about something you're doing.
Oh yeah, we just wanted to mention that we have brought back the Days of Our Life is Strange series on Twitch and then later on YouTube.
Like the sands of the hourglass.
These are the days of our life is strange.
I got
Sorry.
No, I was gonna say I got to be honest. I don't even like the game, but I love watching you two play it.
Right?
Oh, we have the best time. It's a total soap opera for us.
It's a total, like, waterworks, just crying, my beard gets wet. It's
A
terrible.
few months ago, we played Life is Strange Before the Storm. Now we're working our way through Life is Strange. Hopefully we'll have it done before Life is Strange 2 comes out. So
Awesome.
that's the goal. Speaking of tears in your beard, Vendertron, you're looking very beardy over
Yes.
there.
It's very beauty.
big.
It's extremely itchy, you guys. I'm trying not to scratch it right now. So maybe you guys in the chat can keep track how many times I actually scratch throughout the entire show.
But it looks so manly. I like it. Very nice.
Thank you.
It does look good.
I'm glad you like it. I bought some beard butter. So I'm really getting into the beard spirit. But I'm not.
I'm the only
100%
one on the show without a beard now. I'm feeling left out.
You
I
should
honestly
probably
need to
get some
shave.
felt and just like glue it. At least some sideburns or something.
I want to shout out that Dr. TFA. He left work a half an hour early for this, and I hope that he's not like a surgeon in real life, and he's like, all right, see ya. Good luck on your triple bypass. And
Some poor sucker's waiting for his valve to be sewed. Oh no.
so thank you for joining us. And yeah, I hope you guys continue Days of Our Life is Strange. I love watching it.
Yes, and one thing planning the show on the show that I would like to vamp up with you guys is the council. I think that we should definitely
we have to
put
do
that
that.
series out there. Just saying.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Well, for tonight's show, we have lots of interview information from the Todd Howard going around, and that's on German and Italian websites, so there's plenty of stuff there. We have our gameplay for the week. I've been playing a lot of Fallout 4. Shalene's played some Fallout, I think I saw in the notes.
You'll see.
Okay.
You'll see.
And Vendor, I don't know what you've been up to, so we'll get to that. We have a recap of last fortnight's challenge. Overwhelming response. It's amazing. Some of them are epic photographs. And then we have a new challenge for this fortnight week. This bi-weekly thing's frustrating. We also have our lore segment back, and it's all about the Forged, thus the title, and a weapon of the week, and some emails. So, Bender, since you're the first time on the show, take it away and let's give some 5-star review shout-outs here.
Absolutely. Before I do that, I don't know if you guys mentioned about hosting, following.
I did.
Okay, good. So we've got that covered.
Mm-hmm.
5-star review shoutouts. We would like to thank, well, first of all, how can people send or submit a 5-star review shoutout, guys?
Shalene?
Go to iTunes, click the 5th star, and say why you have chosen the 5th of the stars for our podcast.
We don't accept anything less than 5 stars. So if you're gonna click 4 or 2, get the hell out of here.
Seriously, though, those really do help other people really the podcast.
They really
it helps
do.
the show grow.
Yes, and don't just leave a 5-star review. Leave us some comments with your review. We love getting your feedback, and we love hearing all the nice things that all of you lovely listeners and viewers have to say about all the great stuff that we do.
And honestly, unless you leave a comment, we don't see who leaves a 5-star. So if you want to get shouted out, you have to leave a comment.
So make yourself known. And for those of people who did leave a comment, Unlikely Cause, thank you for the 5-star review. B Spangler 9797, love that name. Elder Garvey, very clever. Shaunathon 17, Trans Hunk, Dirty Vegan, and Stu French from Australia.
Ah, the Down Under crowd. Awesome. We've been doing good in Australia and also the UK. Maybe because it was you were there and you were like our...
representing.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Were you over there handing out like?
I was on the streets
business
handing out
cards?
GameStack cards and posters. We had a booth. It was crazy.
Your own street corner Comic-Con.
Yeah, just a random booth in the middle of like Trafalgar Square.
Well, you know, and you're when you got the Queen to wear the Fallout Show T-shirt, you know that helped a lot.
Yes, I gave it to her when we were having tea.
Right.
She loved it. She said she listens to the show every day. She loves it. She particularly loves Shalene and how fabulous she is, and her fancy cups.
It's easy to love Shalene.
But you know how the Queen likes fancy things. So
Speaking of a fancy cup, is that which character is that?
This one's Wasteland Workshop.
Oh, very cool.
It's got the my selfie light is kind of.
I was gonna say it's got the nice glare
some glare
feature
there.
Yeah.
is that a cup that you got out of one of your loot crates?
Yeah, this was one of the Loot Crate cups.
Oh,
Indeed.
okay. Very
That is
nice.
a regret in life, is not getting the Fallout loot crates and
You
the
know, the first
misshapen power
one
armor.
was amazing, and the later ones were not so good. And can we talk about the non-proportional power armor?
Oh, this again?
Look at his tiny little legs. Look at how small they are, guys.
You skipped leg day. You skipped leg day.
Never skip leg day. My goodness gracious.
Hey, we should do a podcast.
Hey, we should do
you
a
guys.
podcast. Guess what's coming up next? The news.
If you like news, you're gonna love our next segment.
What happened in the world of Fallout this bye-week, Shalene?
A lot of things, Rick. A lot of things. So to start off with, there will be no crossplay for Fallout 76. Todd Howard attributes this to Sony not being as helpful as everyone would like, and I quote.
I love the shade.
I know. I really would like some more information on why Sony is reluctant to go forward with crossplay. I would think that it's probably just because they don't need it. You know, they really don't. PlayStation is far in the lead in the console race, and they don't need crossplay, you know?
Petroid in the chat says, angry Yosemite Sam swears. I like that.
But yes, I am sad that we can't have crossplay. It always would be nice to have crossplay. I don't understand why Sony not being willing to do crossplay. I don't understand why that precludes us from having PC, Xbox crossplay.
I know.
So, Todd, why don't you get to explain in here, Sunny boy?
Maybe they're using that. Hopefully they'll use that anger and maybe to try to get Sony on board. I don't know.
I think it's because Shalene, it's too hard.
Maybe.
It's too
Too hard to do crossplay.
Are we
I
all
don't
through
know.
getting it for
I don't
PC?
know. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
getting it for PC because you guys.
I I'm getting it for
So-
PC because playing games together with people is generally better on PC for me.
That's true.
I just hope I'm not running it on Ultra Potato.
Yeah.
I hope my computer runs it.
Yeah.
That is kind of the fear for me too. I think my weak link would be the graphics card again, because it was with Fallout 4,
Right.
which is kind of bittersweet because it's like I gotta go get another graphics card.
Oh,
Shoot.
darn it. Better get the best one on the market. That's $2,000.
Two 1080p, two 1080s
We don't,
SLI.
we don't need to eat for the next three weeks.
No, never.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes, you guys. I hopefully we'll get some beta soon. We can find out what those PC specs are going to be, and I'm hoping that since it's kind of based in the Fallout 4 technology, I can run Fallout 4. So hopefully I'll be able to also run 76. No streaming though, because I can't stream Fallout 4.
Let's check in with our chat here. Widowmaker is saying there's actually a petition asking Sony to do crossplay. And Anonymous Anubis is saying technically Sony and PC have done crossplay before.
It's strange.
So, you know.
That is interesting. I want to hop back real quick to the graphics thing. What you said, Shalene. Vendor, do you run it on potato, or do you run it on potato, or do you run it on like whatever? What's the vegetable for like awesome? Red onion.
I don't know what the
What's
awesome vegetable would be.
hottest hot pepper?
Bootjalokia.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that mode. Moochalokia, is that what you said?
Bootjalokia, which I know
Bootjalokia
because
mode.
I wrote the press release announcing
There we go.
that was discovered to be the hottest chili pepper.
You
in
are
the world.
still the #1 credit on that Wikipedia page.
Bootchalokio mode, you guys. Bootchalokio mode.
There you go. So can you run it on that, Vendor?
Yeah, why
So,
not?
Here's what I was thinking. They were talking specifically about the weather and how you're going to be able to see like weather patterns from far off distances. And typically weather can be very harsh on a graphics card, like fog and things like that. So Shalene, I'm worried. You should probably just go ahead and buy a 1080. You should just go ahead and do it.
Yeah. Or you could send donations in for a new graphics card.
Let's start a GoFundMe.
Hopefully, it goes better than the one for your chair.
We'll call it Rick already has a chair. Get Shalene a new damn graphics card.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Rick, do you want to take this next one?
Yeah, there was a lot of interview stuff with Todd Howard. Most of the stuff was the same, stuff that we already knew, except there were a little more, at least I thought, nuggets of clarification. For
I
instance,
love nuggets.
I do too. McNuggets, grilled nuggets from Chick-fil-A are banging. Specifically, I love Todd Howard nuggets. Like this one.
Oh, okay.
Upon being
I don't
asked,
know. I'm a little uncomfortable with that.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this.
well, let's ask Todd. He's on the line. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So upon being asked why it's called Fallout 76 and not Fallout Online, like Elder Scrolls Online, Todd Howard said it refers to the vault and it's not Fallout 5. He likes to say that it's, you know, the not the next chapter in the Fallout lineage, but it's just another Fallout game. He said a joke. He's like, we'll probably do a multiplayer episode for the next, or we'll probably not do a multiplayer episode for the next 70 chapters. So it's worth a good jump forward to consider it the 76th Fallout. And then they asked him again about PvE, and he said not at launch. And I thought this was interesting because we know that he's gonna.
Like that. I don't like that.
What? Not at launch? No PvE?
Yeah. I don't like that.
Well, we know that we're getting private servers later on, right? He went on to explain a little bit more about what you can do in those. He says you can have servers where you can live in your own lonely world, is what he said, you alone. You can also limit it to where you can just invite your friends, which is what I thought it was just going to be from the beginning. Or you can have mods. I didn't realize that you could actually have a private server just for you and your lonesome.
That's nice.
Which would be very interesting. Which I think would be fun too.
So that's kind
It'd
of
be an extremely lonely game.
This would be
Kind of PG, right?
it. No, it would be. It would be because you wouldn't have any other players. The thing with the thing with the being by yourself in this, it really does fit lore. There's not a lot of people around, so it would be really interesting to see what happens. Although I don't know if, since they're gearing it to be a multiplayer interaction, if it would be as maybe Maybe just a different kind of fun. But anyway, I thought it was interesting that you can have it by yourself. That was one of those, again, those little nuggets.
I am very, very excited to play it with you guys. And I am very, very excited to do a Let's Play for all of the lovely people who listen to TFS. And one of the things that I hope comes into play at some point is some sort of DLC in the form of quests that you can download if you wanted to play PvE. I would like to see like downloadable quests and content that you could.
I think they'll continue supporting the game with additional content.
It sounds like they're certainly setting it up for that.
Given the nature and the design of this game, I would imagine that they're definitely planning on supporting it way more than any other copy that they've come out with.
I hope the mod system for the private servers isn't the Creation Club, though.
I hope mods don't break the server.
They're going to have mods. They've stated that there will be like proper mods.
And you can get them if you join Creation Club.
That's what I'm saying. I hope it's just not.
No, guys, listen to me. This is true. There will be Creation Club, I'm sure, but there will be mods. That's for certain.
Yeah.
Some other stuff that Pete Hines. My goodness, I'm getting my idols confused.
Well, we're not used to
Pete
Todd
Howard.
doing all of these interviews.
true.
Is the
Pete
thing.
Howard,
Pete Howard.
Usually, our information comes from Pete Hines.
Todd Hines.
Duncan Hines.
They're one and the same.
At this point, apparently, you can't be killed if you're below level 5. I don't know if that's changed since this interview, but apparently, if you're low-level noob, you can't be killed by other players.
That's kind of cool.
Which I thought was very interesting.
I'm going to be low level forever.
I can imagine one griefer just following you around. Just like every once in a while shooting you.
Level 5.
You're not ready yet.
Yeah.
It's like
it's like water. People will always find a way like that, right? And one of the things that I really worry about this style of game coming into the Fallout universe is that it'll take on sort of the same characteristics that PUBG had, and that people will find ways to exploit the game.
Well, that's just...
I'm really worried about that.
Well,
because
that's
really
any PvP.
It really ruined PUBG for me, was that.
Well, I'm gonna spend all my time hiding in a bathtub, just like PUBG. It's gonna be just the same. Gonna be hiding in a bathtub, waiting for somebody to come by.
Goldblum got it wrong. It should be trolls find a way.
Fallout 76 Battle Royale.
Maybe life was the Trolls gamer tag. We didn't know.
So another thing he talked about was camps in this game. Apparently, you can actually trap other players in camps, and my guess is if you quickly build walls around them, which is one of the reasons why you can damage other people's stuff. But one of the things that he pointed out was that you can't totally destroy other people's camps. You can damage them. So like if they trap you, you could probably damage a door enough to get out, and then but you can't absolutely demolish a base. The other thing that he added, and we've heard this before, is that resources to rebuild those things are going to be relatively easy to come by, which I thought was interesting. There's another tidbit there that I thought was interesting. He was asked, will other players be able to assign you missions? And he answered, not exactly. And they're like, can you be more specific, Mr. Howard? And he goes, not now. We'll talk about it later. That kind of was like, I don't know if we'll necessarily be able to like create quests, but I wonder if they're going to try to implement some sort of like fetch trade system. I don't know. I just found that bit of language interesting.
So like I could be an NPC and give you quests to bring me hats.
I feel like it might be a community approach. So if you have a bunch of players on the same team or whatever, and let's say you build a camp and somebody like Shalene goes and picks all the carrots, and then there's no more carrots, a little quest pops up in the mailbox for the team that says somebody plant some more damn carrots because Shalene picked all the damn carrots.
Perhaps.
I don't know. I wonder if it'll be like a community approach like that. And it's like first come, first serve. Whoever wants to do that quest will just do it.
That would be cool to have like a daily message board of like people can put up like classifieds.
Like, is it sounding more like Guild Wars?
I love that so much.
I got one used suit of power armor, only a little damage. You get there and you're like, it's missing 5 pieces.
Yeah, Fallout
Or
Marketplace.
it's like
right?
Craigslist, and you get there and like they murder you and leave you in an alley.
That would be so great.
So Dat Dr. TFA mentions radio stations, and I'd like to say, what if we could record that Fallout show live from the wasteland of Fallout
Oh.
76?
Oh my god.
Live on location.
What if we could be? What if we could be the radio station?
I
be pretty
will. I'll call Todd right now.
We could do it in character. It would be incredible. Oh, it would be so good.
It would be great.
Oh, that's good.
So I found that, like I said, I found that language interesting. It's not like it's anything. It might not come to anything, but I just thought it was cool.
It certainly leaves a lot to the imagination.
It does. It definitely really does. So he did another interview, and I believe this was from a German website, and they were asking him about the elements of PvP, if someone's griefing, that sort of thing. And basically, to sum it up, he says, if a player character kills you, that player character becomes wanted. They get a bounty, and it becomes like they become like a raider. He didn't say a raider, but that's my interpretation of what he was saying. I'll read what he said. We do have a system right now that if a player is acting up, let's say he murders somebody who didn't want to engage in combat, it's possible at that moment, yet very, very hard to do that, and maybe it will change. He gets a status as being wanted and can't do a lot of the things the other players do. All of the other players can now see him, and he gets a big bounty on his head. He becomes sort of an epic enemy that every other player can go after. As of right now, a player becomes wanted, and everyone can see him. Everyone will gang up on him, and it's a lot of fun. How do you get a wanted level? We're still messing with. I like the fact that this reminds me of GTA, except we're the cops and FBI and Army this time around.
Interesting. Very
Yeah.
Well, I
interesting.
think the only question going through my head is, do I get to be a robot?
Probably not, dude.
Do I get to be a ghoul?
No,
See,
it's,
and this would be the. They've indicated, we're going to be a human. We just are.
But they've also alluded to the fact that you can be like a death claw and attack people.
But it would.
Did they not?
No,
Did Todd Howard not?
That was
allude
not
to
a
that
thing. That
in
was
the
not
thing?
a thing.
I need to rewatch. I'm pretty sure that was there.
you were in Britain at the time. No,
Yeah.
you weren't. I can't remember.
No, I wasn't. I was here.
Oh,
But
that's right.
we've always talked about wanting to play as a ghoul or a robot or whatever. And I feel like this would have been the perfect opportunity to make that happen in Fallout
Yeah.
76.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Absolutely.
You-
Or a synth. Somebody in the chat said you could be a synth.
You never know. I mean, we all thought very specific things with the Fallout 4 teaser openings, with the nuclear blast, and then it turned out that it was different than we all thought. So we have no clue what in the world could happen.
Yeah.
Um,
But half the fun is the speculation around it,
oh yeah. So
right? I mean, we wouldn't have a show to do right now.
yeah, they're talking about the mutations. Was that what you were going to bring up, Rick?
yeah, I was just gonna mention that. Go ahead.
Yeah, in the chat, specifically Dr. TFA, shout out again, is talking about how some mutations will have visible changes on your character. So that's like permanent changes that can happen to your character. So maybe that could have some kind of ghoulification effect. I don't know. But I hope it's like the additional hand coming out of your stomach, like in the goat.
Yeah.
I just want it to be like Fallout Arc Edition, where you can just like tame a Deathclaw and then like breed baby Deathclaws.
No, no, no,
Oh my gosh.
no.
After playing Ark with you,
Deathclaws?
that would be just awful. I mean, not awful, but it would be ridiculous. Like I'll one day log on and there's just
Massive
death claws
settlements.
everywhere. And then one thing will happen and they'll all escape and you're like, I hit follow all. I didn't mean to hit follow all. Oh man, Widowmaker says tri-wheeled pistols, I guess, with a third hand.
Right.
Right.
It would be so great. It would be like the third hand could be like in Mortal Kombat, like, get over here.
Pixelated Twix says, didn't Todd Hines say that mutations could also be cured?
Yeah. Maybe.
Oh, I don't remember that. That's neat. That's neat.
So, but that's all I had with the interviews.
Cool.
Very interesting. Thanks for sharing.
Sure. Vendor, you mentioned the store.
Oh, guys, I don't know if you've been to the new Bethesda store, but it is fantastic. Oh, have you seen it? Have any of you seen it?
No, I have not been there.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I've seen it.
Well,
You better believe I've
Shalene
seen
has
it.
probably spent her whole paycheck and the next one in the Bethesda store, but it's incredible. I encourage you to go there. You can sign up. It'll give you emails if there's any deals or anything like that. But they've got some new artwork, the Reclamation Day artwork, of course. They've got a beautiful little Mr. Handy wood model that comes with a poster. They have the official Fallout Vault Dwellers cookbook.
Yes, they do.
I did see
And I
that.
may or may
Which-
not have already ordered one.
Which we may or may not be making a cooking show, right,
Or
Shalene?
segment.
Oh yes, it's gonna be amazing, you guys. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be like the Swedish Chef, though.
They've got a yeah. They've got a fantastic 2000 Pip-Boy 2000
Oh,
that comes
yeah.
in a nifty little box. It's $150 Canadian. And a beautiful Fusion Fleet diecast replica. The blue car, the single seater with
Oh,
the
it's
glass
so
stone.
cute.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I
So
heard about the
cute.
diecast.
I don't know if it's worth $100.
It's diecast though.
It's diecast.
From
Diecast, guys.
working at auctions, old metal toys.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? They've also got some different types of weaponry. So they're selling the plasma pistol and rifle
Nice.
on the store, replicas. Those go from $60 to $120 Canadian. They've got some pretty cool statues. So they've got Vault Girl statue, which is pretty awesome. They finally have a dog meat statue. And I would like to press and bring up the issue that I've brought up before. There are no robot statues.
I know.
Once again.
I want the exact ones that they have in the game.
I would really like to
totally
have some
display those.
diecast robots, you guys. I'm just saying. And some of the food items, like Blamco mac and cheese and the perfectly preserved pie.
Mhm.
People would pay good money for this stuff. They do have the
It's
power
very
armor.
true.
The legs of the power armor statue are a little bit more bulky than the one that you have, Shalene.
Yes, they're actually proportionate to the rest of the statue.
Yeah, and they also have a really beautiful Fallout Atomic Atlas statue, which is this person in some power armor, and they're holding this sort of atomic globe, Atlas globe. It's beautiful.
Dollar Beals in the chat is saying he also wants a robot statue. And I know for a
Right.
fact that I'm sure someone in Bethesda listens to this show. Robots. We want some robots.
Robots, particularly, you could start with the Vendertron robot.
That would be so nice.
We're being those fans though right now. We're like, we see everything you've given us so far, but we want more.
Well,
But to
really,
be fair, we are throwing our money at them with both hands.
I'll be
Very
perfectly
true.
honest with you. The only thing that I want from the Bethesda store is robot statues.
Captain Bones says that the Vault-Tec Growler, yes, I did see that, and I'm like, wanting it so bad.
Now, there's a really interesting board game, I believe. It's the 1 to 2 player Fallout Wasteland Warfare. What's it called? Resin. 2-player starter set.
Right.
This is really interesting. So players will build their own crew from a wide range of factions, allies, and iconic characters from the Fallout series, and play in an apocalyptic games of 3 to 30 high-quality 32mm scale miniatures through a huge variety of iconic scenery and settlement buildings, from the Red Rocket to Sanctuary Hills, Nuka-Cola, vending machines, and wrecked cars. So that's really cool. The game itself includes 11 resin miniatures, 1 aviator head super mutant, super mutant brute, 1 standard super mutant, 2 standard super mutant hounds, 1 Nora, the sole survivor, 1 dog meat, 1 enslaved tech survivor, 2 settlers, 1 Brotherhood of Steel aspirant, and 11 scenic bases. Again, no robots. Just pointing that out.
That's so weird, man. I don't know why they haven't given you robots.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. That board game would be pretty neat to play. They've also got some cool chess sets and, of course, the bobbleheads. But yeah.
Speaking of games, I was in a local play and trade, and they had Fallout. The game Surgery game.
Oh, Operation.
Yeah, Fallout Operation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always fun.
I did not know that was there. That was a thing. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So tons of stuff to spend your money on.
Yeah. How did they
We need
the
to get
rights
the
for that?
board game and play it. I think
Jeez.
we need to get that and play it. I don't know how we would make it work though.
To all three get the board game and make everyone's moves. I don't think it would work so well.
Yeah.
So NoClip is still releasing Bethesda videos. The most recent one was about sound design and soundtracks in Bethesda games. It was amazing, and I absolutely think that you should check that out.
I should check that out.
Yes, you in particular would be very interested in this.
Probably.
Because of your love of sound. So no real news out of that. It's a really great behind the scenes video that I highly recommend. So
And NoClip does good work.
they do. They have some of the highest production value in the business. They really do.
Just to quickly jump back to the board game, Widowmaker in the chat says the board game is similar to Warhammer, so you have to paint your figurine.
Oh, cool.
And he said he pre-ordered the starter pack, or she pre-ordered the starter pack, and they also have robots as individual sales.
So you have to
So
paint
that
the
is very
miniatures and stuff?
That would be super
That's
fun.
neat.
Yeah.
I want to do that. So to follow up on our last episode, we had a story about Nukipedia. They're having some severe tension with Wikia, the platform that hosts the Fallout Wiki. And I just wanted to keep you guys apprised on the situation there. Wikia had a meeting with Nukipedia, and Wikia stated that the wikis are considered a central part of the company. They've been branching out into a lot of other ventures, and the folks at Nukipedia were concerned that maybe they just didn't care about wikis anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And Nukipedia explained to them that it isn't just about the featured videos situation. It's about the fact that editorial control was taken away from them. And that's the real issue. The wiki wants to maintain editorial control of their content and not have Wikia forcing this thing on them. So they're hoping to come to a strong agreement with Wikia to determine control, but they're also considering as possibilities Exodus from the platform or unity with the Vault, who of course is the other big Fallout wiki out there. So we will continue to follow this story, and we hope the best for everyone involved. And I'm sorry for the massive train rumbling by my house.
Didn't even hear it.
Yeah. And here's another little thing that I found really interesting.
Now I hear it.
Oh man, that's
There would
great.
be no podcast without the train, Shalene.
That's the
As
true.
long-
Oh,
For
man.
as long as I have been listening to you and Rick do podcasts, I always look forward to the train moments.
That's
wow, the
the
train.
true unofficial fourth host.
Third, yeah, fourth host.
So let's keep that hype train rolling, guys. Let's keep that hype train rolling.
Don't do that when I take a drink. It's perfect.
And so YouTuber Retam, Rhetam, I'm sorry, sir, I have no idea how to pronounce your name, but he beat Fallout New Vegas on the highest difficulty setting with hardcore and permadeath without killing anyone, without dying, without companions, and only using boxing gloves. So
Wow.
he beat the main story and cleared every side quest.
My
He's been working
gosh.
on this since March of 2017, and he posted his final episode on July the 10th. It took him more than a year of planning and execution, and he finished the game at level 26 with sneak, speech, and unarmed skills at level 100. His starting special were pretty different. He had 10 strength, 1 perception, 10 endurance, 1 charisma, 10 intelligence, 7 agility, and 1 luck.
Huh.
So, of course, he needed high strength if he's going to do the boxing gloves,
feel
because those enabled him to knock characters out without killing him, so that he could bypass them at times. So
I feel like
that
Doc
was
Mitchell,
pretty neat.
after that special in the Vigor, Vigomatic would have been like, "You're one strange guy, aren't you?" You know, just because
Well, I
it's like
didn't even make it past like the graveyard just outside of Nipton.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Nipton? No, it's
no, it's near Nipton. It is near Nipton. It's kind of in between.
like I died from the
been so long.
bloatflies.
Oh,
That's
the
what I'm
bloat
saying.
flies at the graveyard? Those are
Yeah.
right there in Good Springs.
Good Springs.
Those are right there in Good Springs.
Yeah.
But
So, like, how he made it to New Vegas to get the gloves, I don't know.
there are some situations where you have to kill characters in New Vegas. So what he did was he would lure them to friendly NPCs who would do his fighting for
Oh
him.
my
Oh
gosh,
my gosh.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
that's
Pretty
nuts.
cool.
He lured glowing ones into igniting gas sometimes. It was amazing.
I just imagine that like wherever he has his gaming setup, like his bedroom or office or living room or whatever, I just imagine like one wall of the room, this giant map with like tacks and like string and like little
like a
post-it
beautiful
notes
mind.
everywhere of like this like plan that he had
Mhm.
for the last year.
Good grief,
It's amazing.
that is insane.
So guys, Bethesda is hiring. So yes, let's all quit our jobs and apply for Bethesda.
That maple guy in chat says, "Try fighting Cazadors."
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, Cazadors are the worst. I hate them so much. But there's not a ton to this news story. Just Bethesda is hiring. They released a YouTube video just showing how lovely their work environment is and how much they want lovely people to come and join them. So Bethesda, if you're looking for some experienced podcasters, we know some people.
I'm a lovely person, and I live right north of Rockville. I'm like
think
a
you should
shoo-in.
apply.
I'm a for what? There's honestly
You could-
nothing I'm qualified to do there.
You could be the guy that wipes down the beanbag chairs.
Could be the guy that. Ugh. I don't think I want to be
you
that
could
guy.
you could be the lunch lady, Rick.
I will be the lunch lady. I
You
will
could
make
wear a
them food they
hairnet.
love.
Have a little
I
follow-up
did go
sentence.
through some of the job listings. They're hiring a lot of artists, animators, engineers, level designers, and also a lot of people in accounting. They need a lot of accountants.
I
So
don't suppose they're looking for an epidemiologist.
probably not so much. Probably
Okay.
not a bureaucrat either. So I think we're all out of luck. But if you are potentially qualified for one of these jobs, or even if you're not, go throw in your resume. Put in a general application. They are accepting general applications as well.
And if you are listening to the show or here in the chat room live and you do apply for a job and you get it, remember your friends here at
Remember
TFS.
where you came from. Actually, you know what I should do? I should apply to the general application as it is the general, like the application to be the general of the Minutemen.
That would be amazing.
Here's why
that
I'm
would
qualified.
be so good.
To be general.
But for real though, go throw in your sound guy application. Rick.
already
It
already
couldn't
did that
hurt.
months ago.
Couldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Do it again.
I should be like, hey, I heard you guys are looking for a robot.
Hello, I understand you need someone with a keen interest in all the
Every-
best hats.
Everyone that interviews you, just be like, hello, sir or madam. Just every
Welcome, sir,
single.
or madam. Please remain calm.
That's so good. Pete Hines has been doing a few interviews as well, not just Todd. So I wanted to mention this one particular quote from a Pete Hines interview. He states, "You don't need us to create the factions. You create the factions. If you want to have the Minutemen, then be a Minuteman and recruit other people to be Minutemen who go around the world helping folks and finding settlements that need help and going and do that. If you want to be a trader, if you want to travel around the map, or if you want to build an outpost where people come by and sell stuff, you should do that. You don't need us to craft those systems. The game will just allow you to do that. You go be who you want in this world," which sounds cool, but also I want Bethesda to make factions.
Yeah.
Part of the charm of these games, it's not just player freedom, it's also the world that they build. And this makes me highly concerned that maybe they haven't built very much world.
The world doesn't exist yet. It's 25 years after the war. the world doesn't exist. Literally. Like, it just doesn't, like, there's no organization. Everyone's dead except for, like, you and some ghouls. I mean, I totally get it.
And the cats.
And the cats.
Probably not dead.
That was, I'm sure one nuke bomb takes up 4 of their 9 lives. But like there's nothing there. There's not going to be any settlements because who's going to build the settlements? Who's going to create the factions if not the people from the vaults?
Right, Rick. And I suppose the Earth is flat.
What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. I'm just like taunting you.
I do want to say that I giggled really hard at someone in the chat and I lost the chat.
Yeah, Widowmaker. Widowmaker says,
Yes.
I used to, or I'm a nurse. Maybe I can go and put Band-Aids on their leaks.
But it's not even that.
Bethesda.
It's the fact that her tag is Widowmaker and she's a nurse.
Well, you do know the connotation behind the Widowmaker, right?
I do know.
Like there's a cardiac arrest. Like
Oh well, yes, yeah.
yeah.
But
they call it the Widowmaker.
I just
when
know.
the one artery. Yeah.
I just know that if I go into the hospital, I don't want to be like, "Hi, I'm Nurse Widowmaker." I'll be like, "Doctor, different." No,
I
I'm
need
just.
another one.
Oh, he says I'm a dude. Well, now I'm
Well,
all
hello,
confused.
nurse.
Anyway,
Sorry.
Wow.
It's the beard. Blame the beard.
Wow, did we go off the rails here? But anyways, this did make me feel some slight concern that maybe they haven't done the kind of world building that I've come to expect from Bethesda. I do have a lot of confidence in Bethesda though, so I'm hoping that there is no cause for concern. Hopefully, we will find out soon. Please give us the beta, Bethesda. We need it. We need it in our hands, on our computers. Give us the beta. Rick, do you want to start off with our next segment?
I do have some post National Enquirer stuff, and it kind of does have to do with the beta. This is just a thought I had today.
And for anyone who is new, the post National Enquirer is our rumors and speculation segment.
Yes. So about the beta, I'm going to guess that the beta is going to be pretty close, if not the full game, which I think they've kind of hinted at confirming. And I think all of the feedback that we're going to give them, because we were talking how it's so close to release, that when it releases, it's going to basically be what we got in the beta. So when you play this, please be prepared that the full release in November is pretty much probably going to be the same as the beta, and the first couple of patches will probably be based on the feedback from said beta. They're not going to try to put all these suggestions into crunch time upon release. So I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. So let's not get all mad at them when it releases and like, it's just like the beta. Well, give them a couple months to implement some things.
So Vault Tech Dweller in the chat says somebody he follows on Facebook was uploading 76 beta screenshots yesterday. Would there not be an embargo on that?
There would be, and I would be cautious.
Like if your friend, if you know the person, you should probably tell them that they need to take it down because Bethesda will come after them.
So I mean, and it's
I would take that with a grain of salt.
Photoshop these days.
Yeah, anything is possible. But if it is true, take that stuff down, guys.
The other thing I have wanted to talk about, I saw a lot of concern in forums I was reading about this, like basically I coined, not that I coined the term, but I labeled it softcore PvP, with the not being able to be killed under a certain level and not losing your gear and things like that. And I wanted to kind of compare that idea with Fallout 76 and Sea of Thieves, because Sea of Thieves is very much a softcore PvP type game. You don't lose anything per se unless you cash it in. Maybe there will be that sort of system in Fallout 76 to incentivize not dying, like maybe you need to turn in your quests before you lose the item. I don't know. But what do you think this idea of a quote-unquote softcore PvP kind of ruins PvP? Like, either do PvP where it's like you lose gear, can be looted, like an Ark game, or like
See, I would rather
Infestation?
have it more like Sea of Thieves than like Ark.
Yeah.
Part of why I couldn't really get into Ark was how harsh the consequences were. You know, if something went badly. But Sea of Thieves, you know, it's really fun, and it totally doesn't bother me, you know, if we go into battle with other pirates and it doesn't go well, that's totally
Well,
okay. I mean, not that we ever lose against enemy pirates, but
Yeah. The makers of Sea of Thieves really built the game in a way that allowed people not to care about whether or not they win or lose.
They cared
and
about the fun.
Really, it's all about having fun. Yeah, absolutely. They designed the game specifically for that, and they made it easy. That's why the ship has 3 sails, and they go up and they go down and they go left and they go right, and that's it, right? So I think when it comes to softcore PvP, the Canadian in me doesn't want any conflict, so I'm all about PvE. I'll just leave it at that.
You're just gonna be standing in the middle of a firefight, like guys,
Guys,
stop.
why we don't have to
stop it.
fight? Stop launching nukes at each other.
I kind of in the same agreement with a game like Fallout, where the consequences of dying in Fallout 4, 3, or New Vegas is lost progress and annoyance, time. That idea in Fallout 76 of like just lost time, like I was here, now I died, now I got to go back to here. Like that's frustrating. But I kind of do agree that I like the idea of a fun softcore PvP, not because it's not challenging, but because there's, you know, I've never honestly been griefed in Sea of Thieves. Like I've never had any problems with people. So I'm hoping that that kind of correlates into 76, where it's not going to be super griefy. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be okay. I don't think it detracts from it, but I wanted to get your guys' input with that.
Yeah.
I hope that it feels a bit like Sea of Thieves. You know, I like that feeling, but we've been playing that game, Sea of Thieves. And I really like that feeling when you meet up with other pirates, like, oh goodness, are they coming for us?
Yeah.
And then,
Should we go
you
for
pull up
them?
next to them and suddenly they're playing the hurdy-gurdy and dancing on their, you know,
Yes.
and you're like, hello. Hi.
And
let's,
then you spend the rest of the night passing by galleons and shouting tomato soup.
and let's not forget, you have instruments in Fallout 76.
Oh,
It could be the
yes.
sing thing.
I'm so excited.
And
So excited.
you could start off ambushes, and I'm hoping that this is in the game, but you can start off ambushes. Imagine you're walking through the woods, right? And it's you by yourself, playing the game by yourself, and out of the distance, you hear,
Oh my god.
and it's like,
That'd be so
oh
funny.
no, and then everyone attacks.
I just want to shoot.
Squeal like a pig. No,
I just want to shoot somebody with the junk jet.
like a teddy bear.
Oh,
Like,
I hope is the junk jet confirmed?
who
I don't
knows?
know.
I don't think
I
we saw
hope
it.
we get the junk jet. I want to kill a dude with a teddy bear.
I want to hit Rick in the face with a harmonica.
Is there going to
Could
be
you imagine?
friendly fire?
I hope there isn't. Mrs. shoots
I
one
hope
in the
there
butt.
is friendly fire.
Captain Bones, why are you running, boy? I could imagine this getting really ridiculous. Could you imagine a harmonica, the sound of it whizzing through the air would be so great.
Mela Rodani confirms
Ah.
that the junk jet was in the E3 trailer. Thank
It
you.
was. I thought that it was. Yeah.
Cool.
I hope that there is friendly fire and you guys are going down.
Well, I
I,
think the
am
fact
going
that-
to grief you with
Yeah.
the junk jet.
I think the fact that they allow anybody to push the giant red button and ensue chaos really speaks volumes to the capabilities of the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So
I am very excited for this game, and I think that PvP aspect is going to be anything but detracting from the game. So, shall we move on to gameplay?
Yes, let's do. I think you should start because I just think so.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Let's move on to
Take
gameplay.
it away.
I have been playing a ton of Fallout 4 personally. I know that I was playing Fallout 3 and the Keller tapes were a thing. I've been getting very frustrated finding that last stupid Keller tape. Again, no spoilers. Thank you to everyone listening so far about not giving me spoilers for that one thing. Everything else you can spoil, just that one thing. But in Fallout 4, I made a character a while back, kind of like, you know, I'm going to not role play anything. I'm just going to create a dude and play it like the first time I ever played the game. You know, change it up a little bit. And I kind of gravitated more towards the Minutemen quest line, dealing with Preston Garvey's, hey, another settlement. Yes, I got it. Kind of deals. So I've been doing that. I got a couple mods running on the game. Mostly it's vanilla. There's a few little tweaks here and there that I did, and I'll get into that later, what I'm using.
Vanilla and no roleplay? Have you been replaced by a synth?
No. No. And so, yeah, vanilla few mods. It's a few mods. I mean, come on. I was trying something new, you know? Gosh, don't kink shame me. So I did a few quests. I went through this and I got to the Institute. I decided to just kind of focus on the main quest because I was getting a little bored of helping all these little settlements. And so I did the main quest. I got into the Institute and, you know, did the double take at my son Sean being older than I, obviously. Spoilers. And I did a few quests for him. I did the one where you go after the raider on the boat and sort of thing. And I just thought that I was kind of getting a preview into the Institute. So it came time for me to assist the Institute in the Bunker Hill battle and getting the escape synths. And so I went to the railroad to warn them. And I get there, and they're like, I can't believe you. You sick, twisted man working with the Institute. Get out of here. And so they don't like me. So there's nothing I could do. I was like, fine, you know what? I'm going to go to Bunker Hill and kill everyone that isn't Minutemen or Institute, and we'll see who likes me then. Ha ha. I get there. Preston Garvey's at my side. I pop a flare off. No Minutemen in the area, so I was like, fine, no reinforcements. It's all good. I kill the Courser I'm supposed to help. I start killing all the synth dudes. I kill all the Brotherhood of Steel, shooting their vertibirds out of the air. Killing all of them, except for the heavy railroad mercs and that sort of thing. Except they're shooting at me. Like, they're my enemy, but I am not shooting at them. I'm shooting everyone else, and I'm leaving them. Finally clear out the main area, and I go underneath the ground. And it's just a storm of now the synths are shooting at me, and now the railroad is shooting at me, and all I want to do is kill the synths, not the escape ones, just the Institute synths. And I do that, and I just run past all the other turrets and railroad guys that want to kill me, and I get to the escape synths, and I talk to them all and let them go. I let all of them go, and then I run back out through fire and leave Bunker Hill, meet my son on top of MIT. And we basically don't like each other anymore. We've parted ways. So now the Institute doesn't like me.
Wow.
And the railroad still doesn't like me. I went there after the Battle of Bunker Hill, like, do you see what I did there for you? And they're like, I can't believe you, evildoer. Fine, whatever. So I leave. And the Institute really, really hates me at this point. So I go to the Brotherhood of Steel and I'm like, hey, sorry, I didn't know what was going on. I made a choice. And Maxon's like, why'd you do that? And you're like, hey, look, I stand by my choice. I did what I did. And he's like, well, I can respect that. And then I tell him about the holotape that I found. And he's like, go get it and bring it to me. And I go to Sturgis. So instead of doing that, I keep doing Minutemen stuff. And I trigger the Minutemen quest of the Institute attacking the castle. So right. I add the defenses. The Institute attacks. And it's a crazy battle. I have like 6 or 7 Minutemen, and we're all fighting like crazy, and it's going well. We get to like 60% defended, and then they start dying. The Minutemen start getting picked off, and the synths start closing in, and harder coursers come in, and I'm running out of ammo, and it's like starting to get intense. Like, this may not go so well. I'm popping flares off. I'm calling out artillery strikes. My artillery strikes aren't coming. I look up. It's because my artillery gunners are dead. And I'm like, no. Preston Garvey's on the ground. There's another Minuteman girl on the ground. So I run over to her. I can't stimpack her because she's not a companion. She gets back up and immediately gets killed. And I'm like, no. And I'm using rocket launchers on guys. Fire up a flare. No Minutemen are able to respond, and I'm just like, this is insane. Like, it's getting tough. But eventually, we win, and the synths are repelled, and I get to talk to Preston Garvey, and he's like, Sturgis found something on the holotape, go talk to Sturgis. And when I talk to Sturgis, it fails the Brotherhood of Steel quest, so now the Brotherhood of Steel hates me, the Institute hates me,
dear.
and the Railroad really doesn't like me either. So the only people that like me are the Minutemen, and I kind of look back at everything, I'm like, I really kind of butchered this entire operation here. So I took
I like that you say that in a Canadian accent.
Did I? That was
Oh,
kind
I
of a
really butchered the entire operation here.
it was a Freudian slip. I'm currently infiltrating the Institute for
I'm
the nuclear
sorry.
option quest, and after I get done the Institute, I'm kind of role playing at this point like a Minuteman kind of thing, and I'm gonna be I decided that I kind of want to go off my own anyway. I kind of want to play without having to deal with Minutemen settlements and building the army. Excuse me, I apologize. So what I'm doing is after I blow up the Institute or solve it, whatever, I'm going to go off to Far Harbor to kind of play it by my lonesome, and I'll probably put on survival mode so it feels like I'm like, going off on my own to be a hermit for a while. And that's what I've been doing in Fallout 4, and it's been super fun because I've beat the game with the Institute version. I beat the game with Brotherhood of Steel, and I've never done the Minuteman ending. So I like to try all the endings. The Brotherhood of Steel ending was by far the most fun at this point. So we'll see how this one goes. The mods that I've got going on, I have the unofficial Fallout 4 patch, the enhanced blood, everyone's best friend, so I can have dog meat and another companion. I have the enhanced lighting mod, the 3D scopes, so like certain scopes that you make, when you bring up the scope, even if it's an 8x, you can still see around the scope. It's cool. And I have the My Minutemen mod. So that's why the Minutemen were able to, because I think I'm kind of low level for doing that, these end missions here. But the Minutemen now spawn with like awesome looking trench coats or armor, and they've got like plasma rifles and stuff instead of like laser muskets. So they're kind of beefy now, and you can build tanks, you can build APCs, you can build Minutemen bunkers, or barricades. So it's pretty fun. It makes them feel like an army. It makes them feel like you're building an army, and you can pay to make Minutemen units instead of just recruiting settlers. You can build actual Minutemen. So that's been kind of a change in fun. I didn't have enough resources to build tanks for the big fight, or else I would have. But
I definitely had the Minutemen ending.
did you?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done it yet, so I don't know how different it is.
Well, because I didn't want to make anybody mad.
Yeah.
Well,
I just wanted everyone to get along.
I accidentally just made everybody mad. Well, the Institute I kind of made mad, and the Brotherhood of Steel I purposely made mad. But the Railroad I didn't want to make mad. They hate me now. But that's all I've been playing this week when I've had time. So, Vendor, what have you been playing?
Well, guys, isn't being a robot from Fallout New Vegas enough? You guys have to ask me about my gameplay. I haven't played anything. Well, that's not true. Well, I haven't played any Fallout, so.
Well, it is gift giving season in New Vegas, so I imagine you've been pretty busy at the Gunrunners booth.
Yes, those guys never let me out. So.
Indeed.
Okay, so
Well,
Shalene,
okay.
anything?
So guys, I've been saying for years now that they need to port the ISOs to mobile or Switch because I think it would be such a great fit. I think it would be a really good platform fit to get them on a touch platform. And I recently discovered a little game called Vault 13 available for Android. And it basically looked like original Fallout. And I thought, somebody ported this game. So I booted up, and I'm surprised that it hasn't been like yanked down from the store, frankly. I'm surprised that Bethesda hasn't squashed this yet. So I booted up Vault 13, and it turns out it's not exactly like a straight up port of Fallout, but it is using a lot of the Fallout assets. It plays vertically on your phone, and you can't walk around and explore the world. It's sort of just a little combat arenas, and you can play for just a minute and put it down, which is nice. You can build your character up, and equip her with better gear. But basically, the thing that makes me sad about Vault 13 is that it is the worst part of original Fallout, the turn-based combat. There's no dialogue. There's no wandering around, exploring. It's my least favorite part, the turn-based combat. So I played through the rat cave and fought a bunch of rats, and I fought against some human raiders, which was fun. It was nice. You know, it's better than playing Candy Crush or something that I might typically play in a minute or two. But it was a little bit disappointing that there was no exploration and no dialogue. They sort of took the RPG out, and it's just a little bit of a combat thing. And after you clear a room full of enemies, you get a choice of 4 loot boxes, and you have 1 lockpick, and you can open one of the boxes, and it could be caps, or it could be, I got a cool leather jacket one time. I got a bottle of water another time. And you can do some bartering, but it's not really the same as it is in the actual game. It's not that you go up to a person and really barter. It's just sort of inventory management. So it's inventory management and turn-based combat with action points. So my least favorite parts of Fallout are now available on Android phones.
Nice.
But that said, I do still recommend Vault 13 if you are a Fallout fan and want that Fallout fix on your mobile device and you're sick of Fallout Shelter. Go ahead and check that out.
Okay. I still have never played the ISOs with any sort of gusto in my entire life. I can't get into them.
Unsurprising. Yeah. You hated them a lot.
I did not like them.
And that's okay. You know,
okay.
it's they're not for everybody.
So, I believe last week we had a challenge.
We did. Vendertron, do you want, well, you weren't here. Last week's challenge was, I was going to say take that, but like you may not even know what it was. You weren't here.
Vendor,
Nope.
You can announce the new one
Last
when we get to
week's
it.
challenge was to take a selfie with your favorite Fallout enemy. And boy, did you guys deliver. Take it away, Rick.
All right. So I'm going to talk about, we have them here, actually. We have images for them. Boom. Here's the first one.
Oh, that's great.
This is Bardock lives. And this is in Nuka World on the
I was
teacups.
just going to say Nuka World, yeah.
Yeah, it's the teacups. And it's funny because these are like ghoul clowns.
Yeah, I love them. Kitty Kingdom is one of the most brutal environments.
It is.
Those are the most fabulous ghouls I have ever seen.
I love that
She's like-
selfie.
The female ghoul is like, "Do you like my makeup?" She's all like painted in purple.
I love the skulky one in the back. He's kind of like I want to be
I wish
involved.
I was part of that. Yeah.
So yeah, that one's from Bardock Lives. It's a very, very cool photo. Now, the next one I really like. This is Basket Case Vegan. This is in Fahaba, and he's wearing the Vim power armor. At least it looks like the chest and the head.
That is an amazing shot.
That
Badass.
is the creature Shipbreaker. I can't remember.
In the background there.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Shipbreaker, I think is what it's called. But it's a big old mantis type thing. I honestly forget what those creatures are called.
Fog
Guys,
crawler.
Fog crawler.
I really loved Far Harbor.
It was amazing DLC.
I think it was my favorite DLC.
So good.
But I love the screenshot because it's very postcardy. Like you didn't even notice it was there until you like get the picture printed. You're like,
Like this is like if the rad meters and everything around the bottom of the screen wasn't there, this would be a really great desktop photo.
yeah. There's no photo mode, which actually comes up later.
Yeah.
So the next one we have up, Captain Bones. He mentioned something about these stingwings making his blood bugs make his skin crawl. They are awful, those things.
I always thought that they were really good for exfoliation, but that's just me.
I noticed the
How
other
did
day.
he get that photo? Man.
He gets good photos.
Yeah.
He always brings his A game to the challenge.
So,
Slender shrimp.
do what?
Pteroid in the chat says slender shrimp.
Oh,
The blood bugs.
I hate those things. So that's Captain Bones. It's a very good photo. It looks like it's coming right after him too. Well, I guess it would be. This next one is Daily Don's first photo. He says getting a screenshot of the glowing hermit crab without a photo mode is very problematic, and it's basically him laying on the ground without a head or leg. Oh, his arm's gone too.
It's a great selfie.
So he does eventually capture the selfie, as you'll see here. The glowing hermit crab is right behind his character hanging out, and
I
Fabulous.
love that the van is like the shell.
I know, like the first time
Those
I saw
hermit crabs are my favorite. I love them so much.
that, yeah,
I love that I wish that they would use other things for shells, like mailboxes or maybe that waste basket in the corner.
Oh, what if we could find little ones in a mailbox? That would be
Right?
so precious.
That'd be so fun.
as we killed him.
Or like a coffee can. Aw.
There are cans of something in the game. I forget what they're called. Is that, if you guys look at this screenshot, and if you look in like the middle left above the car, is that McCready?
There is
Sneaking
somebody
about?
standing there.
It looks like
Giant
McCready's
rifle.
like sneaking around.
I can't tell.
Well, if it's not McCready, Daily Don, you've got someone following you.
Yeah.
Could be Longfellow.
So, I think he did mention Longfellow when he was dead, because Longfellow was provoking the hermit crab. He also took a picture because he was torn between this and the rad chicken, who he's now crouched beside.
Oh, I couldn't believe when I saw my first chicken in Far
And you
Harbor.
kill him and they drop a chicken thigh.
Yeah.
So,
This is a throwback to our nugget conversation
Yeah.
at the beginning of the show.
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah. So thank you, Don Daly, for those. Now, the next up is, he's actually in our chat, that Dr. TFA, and his image, he took a photo with Swan, and he's got this thing heavily modded. It looks amazing, though.
Oh, it looks way better on the Twitch channel than it does on Zoom.
I'm sure it does. But Swan's in the background coming after him, and the whole Central Park has got trees and shrubbery. So
Shrubbery.
it's pretty rad looking. So
Cool.
thank you, Dat Doctor.
Get it? Red looking.
Jeez. Future Mr. Z Steel got a so here's the thing that you notice. If you look really closely at the Titan's Behemoth's face, he's smiling.
Yeah.
Smiling.
He has like this kind of dumb smile, like, hi.
It's
guys.
crazy.
Oh, I love it so much. What a great screenshot.
You know, that would be a really great game element. Like if you went into selfie mode or portrait mode, the NPCs and your character just smiled automatically.
So I love that screenshot. He's kind of like peeking through the door, like, hello, and smiling. So the next one is from our dear Kerfuffleson.
Oh, Gerfuffle.
I love
Oh,
that
that's a
rifle.
Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So he's blasting away at the Deathclaw, which the Deathclaws in New Vegas were awful. They were
Yes.
terrifying.
They were much worse than the Fallout 4 Deathclaws.
So I like that screenshot. Although I like the choice of, you know what, I'm just gonna shoot this guy.
Yeah.
So
I always love the cinema shots.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I always love the sky in Fallout New Vegas.
It is a good sky. I think he's got it modded too. It looks like the
It's an orange-colored sky.
flashbang. That rifle, he's using the basically the 30-30 lever action cowboy repeater, I think it's called. But it's I don't know if it's the one that you can get from the First Recon sniper or if it's a modded skin, but it's got a cool like Native American design, I think, on the buttstock, and it's a silver mechanism rather than I think it's like a more iron looking one in the game, the stock.
Deathclaw looks real nice. Looks like she just got her nails done. Just came from the salon.
So, keeping in the theme with Deathclaws, this next screenshot is probably my favorite, and this one's from Raider Scummy McBalls. I love this screenshot.
Oh, that's good.
The stalker looking Deathclaw. I think that's an alpha Deathclaw because the horns are different, and he's in this
and he's
awesome looking.
enormous.
Is that? It looks like maybe he pacified it.
I don't know. I mean, the power armor. I think I don't know if that's stock power armor. I've never seen it before. I mean, it's got rucksack bags on his legs.
That's the It's like Far Harbor Raider power. It's got the little smokestack on the back.
It's amazing looking. I kind of want it now.
Yeah, I definitely have a set of that.
So this is one of my favorite screenshots we got in. So thank you to Raiders Coming McBalls. That thing looks awesome. So the last two are from Wacky Weirdo, and he sent in a couple, and I wasn't quite sure which one to pick. So I like the first one. His Jason Friday the 13th character, and the Deathclaw is basically going, my pal, you know?
It does. It totally looks like he's just going to clap him on the shoulder in a friendly way.
And accidentally stab
just a
him.
little boop.
A little boop. It looks like he's got a little malem going on there too, the Deathclaw, and some spittle.
Yeah, a little raspberry stream flowing there.
And the next one also was a good looking one and he's just like, this is from Jason's new rap album featuring Deathclaw.
Yo.
So I loved those two, and just how like innocent Jason's standing there like, hey, this is my friend.
Oh, that would be like, that could be the album cover for Mr. G's next album.
Yes, it could. So that was the entries to last challenge. They were great. They were amazing. Thank you so much, everyone.
Fantastic,
for
you guys.
submitting.
I really enjoyed those.
We have a new challenge. Vendor, do you want to tell everyone what the next one's about? Because it's kind of your thing.
The next challenge, you guys, Gun Runners Unite. I won't be the only one in the booth because we want you to take Doomsday, to make a Doomsday gun bunker. How many guns? How secure is it? Show us. Send us your screenshots. And don't forget to use the hashtag TFS Challenge.
Yes.
TFS Challenge. And tweet at us at The Fallout Show, or That Fallout Show, not The Fallout Show.
That's a different show.
That's a different show. Clearly not as good as this one. So be sure to use the Twitter handle That Fallout Show.
Yeah. So we only respond to challenge entries on Twitter. So just want to retwitterate at That Fallout Show, hashtag TFS Challenge.
We actually got one on Facebook today, but there was not time to get it.
Yeah, we just checked the Twitters.
Yeah, sorry guys.
It's all good. So we've got lore. There's much more in store here on That Fallout Show, and we're going to touch in some lore. I don't think we did it last episode. I can't remember if we did. No, we did. We did Diamond City. That's right. We had this discussion last night. So we're going to talk about the Forged. And I don't think we've never covered the Forged.
I love the Forged. They're such a cool faction.
They were really difficult.
I hate them so much. I hate them.
They're kind of like the Caesar's Legion.
Yeah, kind of. The thing that I always noticed is they're placed kind of close to the starting area, like exploratory wise, and you can get there at such a low level and then run away very quickly.
They are so tough, and like every Radiant quest sends you there. Everyone.
So there's a reason why they are so tough. So let's get into this. They're the pyromaniacs of the Commonwealth. They're led by Slag at their home base of Saugus Ironworks. I'm going to be calling it Saugus. If it's wrong, I don't care. It's Saugus. Saugus.
I'm sure they're going to correct you anyway.
Saugus, not
Saugus Bottom Boys.
So Slag was not originally from a Commonwealth. You can kind of figure that out when you look at the terminals. He came looking for recruits, but most didn't pass the brutal initiation rituals, which I have no idea what they are. So the Forged got into combat with the gunners from the Hub City Auto Wreckers. That was where some gunners were stationed. And after the Forged beat them silly, or killed them silly, the numbers increased in the Forged. Like they had established their reputation in the Commonwealth as a force to be reckoned. I was trying to smush a pun. It didn't work. As a force to be reckoned with, so the numbers increased. They don't show any mercy. Anyone who's not a Forged or anyone that isn't looking to join the Forged, they just murder kill straight away, i.e. Shalene with all of her Radiant quests. New recruits have to pass a series of brutal trials that are not specified, but we do know that they're awful, and that failure is always results in death. So there's that. You don't pass one of those rituals, you dead. You can't walk away from that one. Initiates that pass must change the name to a tougher one that invokes like fire or machinery, like, Ash. I don't know. What would your guys' forge names be?
Oh, wow. What a good question.
I'm Slag, and we are the Forged, and you, stranger, you're somebody with some guts. I like that.
No, what would your like if you passed the ritual initiation, what would you have to change your name to? You would have to change your name.
Probably Ginger Lord.
They'd push you into the forge. Shalene, what about you?
I think I would be something like, I don't know, like a night like Sparkler.
Oh my God.
This fell apart. I thought we were going to be like Fire Rage Ember. I don't know. But anyway.
You forgot who you were podcasting with for a minute.
I did.
What's yours, Rick? What's yours?
I've been trying to come up with one. I couldn't think of one. We're bad. We would be killed in an instant. I'll be like, just put Steel or
so
Rick McSteel. Rick McSteel.
We've got the chat weighing in on this as well. Pixelated Twix says Bernie Sanders.
They're so much better than us.
How about that weekend with Bernie, hey? Widowmaker says Blaze Burner Fire Guts. Dat Doctor says Bernie the Pyrosaur. Vault Tech Dweller says Ember. Absman says Narmander?
Charmander, maybe?
Charmander?
Tyree McFire. So, yeah.
Those are some good ones, guys. Well played.
Most of us would be killed at this point. But anyway, that's part of the initiation rituals.
I think my name would be Soot.
Soot.
Just Soot.
But it's like a hippie commune a very angry hippie commune. After you join, you have to change your name. So yeah, one former member, Yancey, was killed for refusing to change her name. So I thought that was interesting. She's like, I like my name Yancey, and then they just shish kebabbed her or something. So,
well, they wouldn't let her hyphenate or anything. I mean, come on.
She refused to change her name.
I told you with shish kebab.
So, the punishments include. Now, this is the thing. They're a brutal group of people that don't take dissension lightly and betrayal lightly. They will just murder kill you quick. So, some punishments include banishment, having one's family killed in front of them, or fed molten lava. Or molten iron. The most common punishment, though, is being fed to the Forge, in quotes. And the Forge, if you remember when you go fight Slag at one point, if you went and fought Slag, the Forged is that big forge in the middle of the Forge. Anyway. I'm going to
just derail us back to the chat room.
Uh-huh.
ZOMG at Stasia says Ernest Hemingway.
Now, see, he would get in for sure.
That's nice.
So did we talk about...
Josh Neurotic just says right after that, loads shotgun.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man.
So Shalene, you were saying how the Forged are so difficult. One interesting thing about the Forge is that the NPCs are actually generated from the same stat table as regular raiders, but as a result, they have the same special stats, but a number of hit points, and they use atypical weapons and armor that is generally superior to that, which is used with the other mid to lower level raiders.
Interesting.
They do.
Yeah.
That's why they're so hard. They usually have asbestos lined armors because fire.
I love that. Asbestos lined
They
armor.
do. And they should call Wilfred. They've got mesothelioma. But yeah, they usually have flamethrowers and that sort of thing. But they Widowmaker says drink every time Rick says forge. So yeah, they're not nice people. The Forge itself is a sort of idol or a god to them. They revere it. Kind of like how the Children of Adam revere the bomb or radiation in general.
Children of Adam. I love the Children of Adam.
The Forge typically stay at Saugus Ironworks except for at the Dunwich Boars. It's a tie into those guys, you know. Bedlam, who is a raider gang leader over at the Dunwich Boars, she writes in her terminal that the Forge basically run them, they control them, and it kind of alludes to it violently. So they're kind of like servants or slaves almost. But that gang is supposed to control Dunwich Boars and make metal for the Forged. But apparently, according to the terminal, it does not go very well at all. They keep failing. So the Forged have to be dealt with during 2 quests and a number of Radiant quests. But the 2 main named quests are Here There Be Monsters and Out of the Fire quest. Specifically Out of the Fire, which starts when you find Abraham Finch at Finch Farm. And his son takes a sword over to Slag, and you got to go get it back. And
Well, not just any sword though.
no, it's a sword we'll get to later on.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that because it ties in. So you have a couple options when you get to Slag and Jake. You can have him kill the settler that Slag's trying to get him to kill. You can he could die in battle when you fight Slag. And if Jake survives, he'll go back to his homestead. Although I did find out that Abraham Finch really only gives a crap about the sword. He could care less about his kid.
I know, right? Isn't
Yeah.
that awful?
It is awful.
I think that relationship, that father-son relationship, is one of the interesting ones in Fallout 4.
Vault Tech Dweller 111 says HP Forgecraft. So there's another name. Like Vendor, like you said, they share stats with regular raiders, yet their gear's better. You rarely encounter them outside of Saugus Ironworks, but you can. They're a hard fight, like I said, for low-level players. Super mutants actually spawn around the Ironworks, so sometimes you'll show up and they're fighting each other, which means they are not friends. And it goes to show that the Forged care about no one except for themselves. They typically carry flamethrowers and Molotovs, like I said before. So it's a faction that's small, and they are mean, but it's a good place to stock up on flame energy weapons if that's what you're into, and Molotov cocktails. And I think sometimes they carry grenades and some other types of weapons, but I always find it a good place to go for Molotovs. But be careful when you do go there. They hurt. So have you guys interacted with the Forged at all? Really? I mean, other than Shalene's Radiant quests?
Absolutely.
I hate him so much.
I haven't done any of the really Radiant quests, but I've explored the Forge and their kind of Saugus Ironworks, went through there and stuff. Slag is really hard to kill.
He's wearing power armor.
And I remember being in there, and you know how they have like those offices, they're like up on a level or whatever?
Yep.
The only way I could kill him was to stand in one of the buildings, and then there's like a bridge across going to another set of cubicles or offices. I stood in one building and I shot my fat man across the bridge into the other building where Slag was with his power armor, and it blew up the whole place, and there was buckets and like forks flying out of the windows. Then I went back in, and Valentine was standing there next to Slag's dead body. He was like, "Hey, where have you been?"
He's not an easy fight. The other thing too, the explosive. This doesn't matter anymore. But the explosive bobblehead is found in Saugus Ironworks,
Right.
and the dampening coils are also found in Saugus Ironworks. So there's a couple small items in there that you can get. But
So
yeah,
this one time, you guys,
Bandcamp.
I had a Radiant quest to go to Saugus Ironworks to get somebody's necklace. And of course, the chest with the necklace in it is like right behind Slag.
Yeah.
And I
you
don't
mean this
remember
necklace?
if Slag respawns or if just somebody else pops up wearing the exact same outfit with the same, fighting experience. But I was like, okay, I am just going to stealth my way through this. I am just going to pop a stealth boy. And I know this really well because I've had to do like 10 Radiant quests here. So I'm going to pop a stealth boy. I'm going to sprint up there, grab the necklace, get out. And I'm not even going to fight these guys. We're not going to engage. Yes, it was the Abernathy's necklace. So I pop my stealth boy. I get in there. And I am opening the chest behind the power armor guy. and the stealth boy dies.
Oh,
It's true.
no.
So I'm like posed over their
Oh, hi
chest,
there.
like with my hand in it, like, oh.
Nothing to see here.
It was such a disaster, you guys. I hate that place so much.
So, by the way, this must feel like what it feels like to be like Archon or Joseph Tau, but the Abernathy Farm raiding quest, for me at least, has always spawned in the USAF Olivia base, not the Ironworks.
Yeah, is that it? Well, it was somebody's necklace. I had to get a necklace.
There's a lot of lost necklaces, which jewelry would be a very common lost thing with all the fighting and scrapping that goes around. You know, my ring fell off. Can
Maybe
you go find
it
my
wasn't a
ring?
necklace. Maybe it was something else. But I had to get something, and it was a bummer.
I had to say that because it's like one of the few times I am actually like, I know something. But
Yeah.
you are sent there to fetch another specific item.
Indeed. And that item is the shish kebab. So the shish kebab is a fiery melee weapon that can be found in Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 4. It is a homebrew flaming sword, which is pretty awesome. In Fallout 3, it can be made with schematics, a motorcycle gas tank, a handbrake, a pilot light, and a lawnmower blade. And you can get a shish kebab schematic from Vance as a quest reward. You remember Vance from the Vampire People?
Yep.
I love those people. They're so fun. Or you can get it via looting his cold dead corpse after you kill him.
Anonymous Anubis says, cook 'em while you cut 'em.
It's like that. It's like that toasting bread knife. You know.
Yeah.
Indeed. That's exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
Seared fillets just.
The shish kebab is perpetually lit and will set off gas leaks if the player or a companion
like
walks
that.
through one. When you have it equipped, the wielder wears an oven mitt to protect them from the heat.
That's hilarious.
That is very cool.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know.
What if you're in power armor? You just put an oven mitt over top.
Just a giant oven mitt.
Just like a flowery oven mitt. You know?
I love that. It should come with an apron too, a little flowery, frilly apron.
Dual wield with a rolling pin.
Oddly enough, this weapon never requires refueling, even though you have this fuel tank
Right.
strapped
Fallout
to your
logic,
back.
right?
The Fallout New Vegas version is essentially the same, but the Gunrunner's Arsenal adds a unique variant called Gehenna, which can be purchased from Vendertron.
Hey,
So yeah, maybe you can hook me up with a discount.
I'll get you staff discount.
Quick fact. Do you know what Gehenna is?
It's biblical.
Yes. It's the name
explain.
for hell.
That's what I thought.
Oh,
Although
they never told me that in my training.
although technically it could actually have been a real place. It was like outside of Jerusalem. Anyway, it was a
Interesting.
place where things were always on fire.
Just like this podcast. Gehenna has a brighter flame, and its valve is blue instead of red, and the gas tank has a more rusted appearance. It also does higher damage and uses fewer action points in bats.
Gas tank. Rusted.
Yep. That's right.
Well, little B-52's reference, maybe. Something.
Okay.
Keep it together. Keep it together.
The Fallout 4 version of the shish kebab is more compact, using a smaller fuel source that is attached to the handle instead of worn like a backpack. And the weapon part is an actual sword instead of the makeshift lawnmower blade. Also, this weapon is available as an automatron robot mod. So, Vendor, I think we should equip you with a shish kebab arm.
Two
Yeah.
shish
Be
kebab
like-
arms.
What do you say? What do you
Yeah,
say?
it'd be like Cirque du Soleil. Yeah.
Be great.
So that was our weapon of the week.
Awesome.
Wow.
And we have some lovely emails
We do.
from our lovely listeners.
Fender?
Thundertron. You want to read one?
Sure. Justin writes in, greetings yet again, fellow Wastelanders. I'm happy that a Fallout-centric show has returned, and wow, you guys are the perfect hosts for it. Wow. Thank you. It's almost like you've done this before. What? The Gauss rifle is one of my all-time favorite weapons. I think it has to do with my knowledge of electromagnetism and my interest in all things physics. I've forgotten if this weapon was featured on Weapon of the Week, but if not, it needs to be. Gauss's law is the physics theory that birthed the Gauss rifle or coil rifle. The rifle uses magnets that are charged with the opposite pole in sequence, pulling the projectile to an incredible velocity. Therefore, the actual projectile hitting your enemy would be classified as ballistics physics, yet the actual propulsion would be classified as energy. I say energy because in physics everything is energy: kinetic, ballistic, electric energy, radiation, etc. In the case of Fallout, it's reasonable that your character would need an energy weapon skill in regards to their weapon know-how. How to reload, zero the scope, and maintain such a weapon is different to your usual gunpowder weapon. Yet, in the world of physics, every gun is technically an energy weapon. Alas, the world of science and its technicalities. Railguns use similar physics and are used in today's military. In 2010, the U.S. military tested a railgun that reached a record 100 miles with hopes of advancing to 200 miles. Now, that's a little concerning.
That's crazy.
That's amazing.
How did
love
they?
that.
Like, you must have had a hell of a scope to see the
I
target.
was gonna say somebody like some bad guys eating dinner is like, do you hear a bee?
Yeah. Suddenly, this like nail shoots into his or something.
Just bloody mess.
Yeah. The U.S. Yeah. Is that a bee? The U.S. Navy has developed a new destroyer called Zumwalt. Good job, guys. Couldn't have thought of any better name, but that's it.
It's like they just smacked the keyboard.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's
look.
call it Zumwalt. Oh man, the USS Lyndon B. Johnson is being considered to house the first battle-ready railgun.
Interesting.
So this word I can't pronounce. I plan on majoring in.
Tercentenary.
Thank you. Tercentenary. I plan on majoring in a field medic with a minor in technology. If you are in need of a doctor out in the wastes, give me a call. See you in the mountains. Happy adventures. Gauss rifles make me happy. Maybe too happy. Thank you for listening to my lecture. Keep fighting the good fight. God bless America and all other nations. And I hope your 4th of July was a great one. Long live freedom.
I thought he was gonna go with the quote, God bless America, nowhere else. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So what do you guys think about, first of all, the idea of calling it an energy weapon?
He's absolutely right now that he explains it kind of like that. He is right.
That was a fascinating treatise. I really enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Gauss's law, physics theory. And the railgun, that's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a real thing.
I remember reading about it a while ago, and that sort of thing. I remember they had like started test firing it, but I didn't ever read into it that much. However, the Gauss rifle in 3 in New Vegas is by far my favorite weapon. I am not as much of a fan of the Fallout 4 one. However, in this playthrough, I've reached level 36 and haven't found a Gauss rifle yet. So
Wow.
I thought that was strange. So
Really?
yeah.
Well, yeah, but
I don't know. Anyway.
We have another email. Rick, do you want to take this one?
Sure. Give me this one. Yeah, I get it. With my reputation and names. Hello.
Mujahid.
I was getting there.
Well, I'm just helping you. Mujahid.
I actually figured it out before to kind of impress Shalene and everyone else. But anyway.
Okay.
Hello, guys. My name is Mujahid. I lost it. Mujahid. An old fan since Fallout OTR, whatever that show is. This is my first email to you guys. I live on the other side of the world. Usually your podcast would start live at 4 a.m. local time. However, that's not an excuse, man. No, it is. I understand.
Totally is.
Yeah, I mean, I got up at 3 a.m. today. Don't get up at that early. It's ridiculous. I love Fallout, and Fallout 76 will be my first multiplayer game. I really don't like the concept of multiplayer games, but the idea of playing a Fallout game with you guys in a private server is a dream come true for me. So guys, do you have any advice for someone like me in his first multiplayer game, and do you think role-playing is valid in games like 76? Because I really wish I can roleplay as a monster hunter and join a couple of people as a hunter's guild or something like that. I mean, who doesn't want a sloth for coat or rug, right? I love you guys, and thank you for this awesome podcast.
Do not touch those precious sloths.
You're out of camera view again. You're like
protect the sloths. I love them.
You know, I thought you would go for a sloth fur coat.
I really like the sloths, though. I want to tame the sloth and ride the sloth into battle.
But the moss, Shalene. Think of the moss that you could have on your back. Well, just to speak about the psychology about playing on multiplayer games, the interesting thing about playing with other people is that you learn about other people, and you also learn a lot about yourself as well. And so if you're getting into multiplayer games for the first time, the best advice that I can give is just to go in with an open mind, and just have fun playing. Don't get too caught up in the game and how good you want to be and how good you want your team to be. Just play, and just have a good time.
Or the too long didn't listen to that is basically prepare to die a lot.
So I would like to chime in, like, seriously on your email and not just teasing you about sloths. So you question if the idea of role-playing is valid in a game like Fallout 76, and my answer to that is absolutely yes. And this is exactly what Pete Hines was talking about in his quote that we were reading earlier, when he says, be the faction you want to see in the wasteland. You know, if you want to be a monster hunter, go out there and be a monster hunter. And I am sure you will find some other people who would love to join you in being mountain men of the wasteland. It'll be amazing. Jeremiah Johnson of the post-apocalypse? Yes, do it. It's going to be great. And I really think we're going to see a lot of role players playing Fallout 76. I've already heard a lot of people who want to be merchants or who want to be a traveling caravan.
Much of which I would imagine would be featured on this show.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, traveling bard.
Oh,
you could just...
That's great.
Joshy Neurotic says he's just going to throw mines everywhere. Great, great. You just walk around and beep, beep, beep. What? No. Boom. And I'll know who did it.
Yes, Joshy is not allowed on the private server. He's going to kill us all. Yeah.
I will play any role as long as you do not lock me in a shed for this next century.
I'll get you out. Yeah, but Shalene, you're exactly right. This is an open, literally the truest open world in a Fallout game we've had, I think. You can't necessarily it's hard to be a merchant in the other games without being ridiculously breaking the economy. So, yeah, I mean, you want to be a monster hunter? Dude, you're already a monster hunter. The second you play that game, you're already a monster hunter. Just maybe not go after a screech beast when you have a pipe pistol. Maybe just don't do that. But I too would love to be a monster hunter, sneaking around in net and ghillie suits and looking for the Grafton monster,
I'm totally going to be a scribe. I'm going to be going around looking for books and terminals to record. It's going to be great.
I'll just be a mercenary like in New Vegas, it'll be like 50 caps to get you to the other side of this town, And that's what I'll do. So I think it's going to be great. I think we need to reserve our judgment for the beta and even the main game coming out. And I think you're going to like the game, even though you're not used to playing with other people. I think it'll be fine, especially if you've got friends to play with. And if you join our Discord, I'm sure you'll find plenty of people that want to play on there.
Indeed. Yeah, I think that we'll have to make a looking for group room. And I think you guys are going to have no problem finding some people.
Looking for love.
Play with. So, hey, that too. I mean, we don't judge.
The Tinder of Fallout 76.
So, guys, let's swipe right on this podcast. And
I set him up and you knock him down. Shalene.
Nice. Any announcements, guys?
And the room went dead.
I got nothing. Do the closing thing.
Awesome. You can tweet at the show, at That Fallout Show. You can tweet at the network at We Just Love Games. You can tweet at me at Rick McVick. You can tweet at Shalene L. You can tweet at Vendertron at VendertronN. All on Twitter. We use it a lot. It's awesome. Facebook.com/That Fallout Show is a way to get into that page. We have a group for That Fallout Show. Also, that's facebook.com/groups/That Fallout Show. I'm trying to figure out what was starting to be typed in the show notes, and it's distracted me.
Sorry.
What was that going to be?
We want to give a great big shout out to longtime listener Captain Bones
Oh,
for his birthday.
oh, happy birthday, buddy!
Happy birthday, dear friend.
That's awesome. Very happy birthday, Shalene. Wish him a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Captain Bones.
It's truly a democracy here.
You could you could also find us on facebook.com/We Just Love Games, or our facebook.com group for We Just Love Games /group/We Just Love Games. Continue, Rick. Sorry.
No. You can email us at info@wejustlovegames.com. We will read it on the air. Some of them. Like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/wejustlovegames. And you can find our show on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. Leave us a review on iTunes, and if you check that 5th star and add a comment, we will shout you out at the beginning of our show. We are also on wherever you get your podcasts on. I think like Podbean and some other Podcast Addict or something. So a couple other ones. But pretty much wherever you get your podcasts, we're there. If we are not on a platform that you frequent, please let us know. I will get us there. We record live every other Friday at 6:30 Mountain Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/We Just Love Games, right where you are now or where you should be. And next week on We Just Love Games, our other podcast, it's another episode of Game Stack Podcast. Keep an eye out for another episode of Days of Our Lives is Strange, I believe. Is that the continuation of the one you were doing the other day?
Yes,
Indeed.
we are still going through episode 1. So and we haven't gotten to any real roller coaster drama parts yet. I don't think so.
And you can catch up on the YouTube channel.
Awesome. Find that stuff there. Check out our other podcast, Game Stack, also on iTunes. It's I think it's pretty fun. We also do Twitch streams when we can, but those have been kind of few and far between. But we do them when we can. I would like to do another Fallout 4 stream at some point soon, a Let's Play. So thank you so much for listening. And Shalene, what's your last word?
Photons have mass? I didn't even know they were Catholic.